Hitting it. Welcome to the ScaleUp Africa podcast. I'm so pleased to have you here. It's so good to see you.
So good to see you as well.
Yeah, and
Thank you
we've
so
we've
much for
we've been
having me.
talking for a while, and I'm just excited that we made this happen because I know, everyone's been so busy, and so we have so many common grounds to cover on this conversation. But tell us first about how you got to this point in your philanthropic journey, because earlier we were talking about, your plans, our shared plans for experiential philanthropy and investment and development, and how all of those themes cross, faith-based investing, experiences that can really allow philanthropists and investors to immerse themselves in new markets and new opportunities. And so it's great that we are both sort of facilitating these kind of conversations. And I really look forward to collaborating with you. But share with us your journey. You have a beautiful background there. I love artisanal, traditional, handcrafted things. And I love the piece behind you. So tell us about your story, your family story, and how you came to be such a dynamic leader in the sort of impact space.
Thank you so much for having me. I have a very unique story where I actually started in financial services working for ultra high net worth families when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
So as a young teenager, I was exposed to multimillionaires, the stock market, New York, Wall
Hmm.
Street. And so by the time I turned 21 years old, I said, I want to be a stockbroker. And
Okay.
it was really because, I was learning how money makes money for you. And I said,
Hmm.
wow, I didn't realize that, there are things out here that if you make investments, those investments are designed to go and actually create a return. So I learned this at a very young age. We're talking like the early 90s. And so back then I was very fortunate to actually land a job with a Fortune 500 financial institution, one of the largest in the world. And, started my career early as a financial advisor, advising ultra high net worth families, advising institutions. By the time I was 22 years old, I had already been on a syndication underwriting a $50 million municipal bond deal to put new water lines
Mm.
in a city. So again, it was just I say the access and exposure, early exposure is something that's been so important to me because I know the doors that it opened for me so that by the time I was 42 years old, I actually left corporate America. I retired. I took a year off and fished and did all the things that retirees do, and then
Yes.
I decided I just love what I do, so I got back to work, but I started my own company.
Hmm.
And really that's been now for the last 7 years I've been on my own, and my mission and my vision and my purpose is real simple. I like to call it Jack's got the T, right? TEA. And I say talent, education, and access to capital. And so for me, when I thought about the work that I wanted to do in this, call it second act, it
Hmm.
was really about how can we create a workforce,
Hmm.
like very similar to like what I grew up in, 16 years old, working with ultra high net worth investors. By 18, 19, I'm sitting across the table from billionaires. By 22, I'm managing, a team of, financial advisors that are responsible for millions and billions of dollars. And that was because, again, those programs were made available, were made accessible to me in high school.
Right.
So I have a passion for our young people. I have
Yes.
a passion for them being financially literate. And I
Yes.
have a passion for businesses like ours, especially women,
Hmm.
getting access to fund our entrepreneurial endeavors. So,
Pursuits. Yes,
yeah,
yes. And it's amazing what you said about the opportunity at a very young age, because we know over the recent decades, I think there's been so many cuts. And so a lot of young people are having fewer and fewer opportunities and structured ladders towards, a fulfilling
correct.
career, and like you said, financial literacy and investment literacy and all of those things. And I also picked up on your point about how you talked about the municipal bond that you worked on, the importance of infrastructure investments in a way that is
Yes,
structured for development, right? And this is something in
that's
terms of
right.
the conversation we've been having about Africa's development, how to use finance and philanthropy to actually structure vehicles that can, enable development outcomes. And I think that is also basically the pulse of what it is we are trying to unlock through the work that we're doing at ScaleUp Africa. So I really appreciated those 2 points from your intro there.
Yes, it was. Again, again at the tender age, I think I was around 18 at that time when we were placed, or 19 when I was placed on this team to understand how, again, capital is created through both the equity markets or through the fixed income markets
Mhm.
to then, to your point, develop cities to bring roads and water systems and bridges and
Yeah,
airports, all of that. Again, I never knew that, call it going through my studies in
of
school,
course.
but
They
I
don't
knew
teach you
it
this
through
stuff
that.
in school. They
They
don't
don't
teach you
teach you
this
that
in
stuff in
school, but
school,
they should,
right?
and
They
that's where the education you are providing is actually so important. And again,
That's
I
it.
really look forward to bridging those gaps because, of course, Africa is a land of so many opportunities, right? So
So
many
many.
countries, so many cultures, so many opportunities. And so this education piece and the talent piece you talk about is extremely important before you get on to
Very.
investment for development and development finance. So tell us a
That's right.
little bit more about what you're seeing from your immense network of high net worth individuals, how we're seeing a shift in philanthropy. And we're really looking at philanthropy 3.0. What does that
Yeah.
look like from where you sit?
Yeah. So what I will tell you is what I'm seeing. I was just actually at a conference in Omaha, Nebraska, which sits in the middle of the United States. So it's a sort of melting pot for some really high net worth individuals because it's a huge place for agriculture, and
Yes, and,
there's a
and,
lot
and
going
Warren
on
Buffett land as well,
there.
apparently.
Exactly. She knows
Yeah.
about that Warren Buffett. But yeah,
Yes.
so it
Yeah.
was recently in the Warren Buffett land,
Hmm.
and I'm at a conference, and the name of the conference was called the Do More Good,
Hmm.
the ROI of why. And not why, the
Yes.
letter, but why, my purpose. And
Yes, and
so what I'm
also
finding,
also the
yeah,
ROI is return on impact as well as investment, right? The
that's
I. Yes.
That's exactly
Hmm.
right. It's about that return on my impact. And so, what I found with these investors that are coming together now is that the conversation is shifting. One, because the next generation is very much focused on making the world a better place. They're seeing what's happening with Mother Earth. They're seeing what's happening with all the things, with
Hmm.
the UN call it
Yes.
the sustainable goal, right? And they want to make a difference. And so,
Right.
do these people, do they still want to make a profit? Yeah, they're like, we can profit and have purpose at the same time, right?
Right.
So many times, again, it's like, could we produce a fund or a bond where we can go into places that need the capital, build them up, get the affordable housing, get the roads, whatever, get the health care, but then do it by a way where there's still an opportunity, whether it's through tax credits, whether it's through, again, unique structure from a cap
Hmm.
stack perspective,
Hmm.
that these investors still feel good that, hey, you know what, I'm not expecting maybe a sexy 55% return or a
Yes.
multiple, but I,
Hmm.
I am, willing to put my money into, like, municipal bonds, treasury bonds. They don't pay really great returns, but we know that there's that level of security. There's that level of, I'm investing in my country or in my community, in my county. So those are the kind of things that I think philanthropists and people who are being purposeful about how they're planting their dry powder in some of these opportunities. Some of it is just pure philanthropy in there,
Yeah.
setting up their foundations and their donor advised funds to be very intentional. But for others, they're trying to figure out how to, again, make this a strategic partnership.
Right, right. I mean, we were
You know,
talking earlier about how we are really challenging philanthropy to be bold, more courageous, more creative. So I
that's right.
imagine, the work that we've done to secure a couple of $1 million as a first loss tranche and inviting institutional investors to come into the private sector by matching and you get 4 or 5 times the dollar on a dollar of philanthropic capital. So these are the
That's
kinds
right.
of catalytic capital investments that we are really encouraging more investors from the philanthropy circles to understand and to get involved
Yeah.
in. And so that I think is a huge opportunity and great to hear your insights from Omaha as well. So tell
Yeah.
me about your plans in Africa, because you've done quite a bit of travel and work in Ghana, across the
Yeah.
continent. I know you've done East and West Africa in particular. Tell us a bit more about the work that you're most excited about and how that feeds into the broader conversation about global wealth, impact, and philanthropy.
Absolutely. Well, the thing I've got several things I'm super super excited about. I would say the first thing I'm most excited about is the workforce development programs that we're going to be bringing to the continent, starting in Ghana, where again my job is to really raise up an army of future financial professionals that can sit in the rooms that we're talking about, the private equity spaces,
Right.
the venture capital spaces, and have that confidence to be able to help raise money, raise awareness so that we can get these projects done.
Off the
So
ground.
we're looking to deploy that this, hopefully this fall, coming up in September, and really partner with universities there on the continent to really, again, embed some of the Wall Street knowledge that, we have over here. It's like, again, my job is just to, again, redistribute that knowledge and that wealth back to my home there in Ghana. So excited about the workforce piece. Also very much excited about, there's a couple fundraisers that I'm really bringing to light. One is an incredible film project that's going to come to light about one of your former presidents, and
Ah,
really getting that film bootstrapped so that we can bring the real story not just to our local friends and family on the continent, but across the world. People need to
international.
know.
Yeah.
People
Our
need to see us,
stories.
and
We have some
our stories
amazing
are
stories.
rich.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean, you've
yeah,
seen how popular the polygamy. I can't believe I'm talking about the polygamists on this show, but definitely, I mean,
right.
the fact that it's our culture, it's very
It's
African,
our
uniquely African.
culture.
You had Southern Africans collaborating to bring this production to light, and it's been an amazing hit
It's been
across the globe
amazing.
just
And I look
because
at
it's
this
one of
like,
our cultural stories. Yes, I love your
exactly. And I
film.
look at the fashion, right? So
Yes.
this was a homemade piece from a beautiful sister in Accra, in Airport City. I
Mhm.
mean, I just say the music, the art, the film, that's something that's really
It's an untapped situation.
it's
We really need to invest in those sectors because they are the ones that the young people are great at, they love, they appreciate, and they really want to understand the business of creativity. And that's where I think Africa has a unique selling proposition. We just need to get all those pillars right: the training piece, the business piece, access to equipment, mentorship, the business advisory, the commercial bits of it. All of those elements are just a huge working opportunity for young people across the continent. So I definitely
you
appreciate
hit the
that
nail on the
piece.
head. Oh
Yes.
yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Just so, and again, it just gives me goosebumps because it's so, it just shows the opportunity is just vast.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm really dedicated to that. That brings me joy. Like when I go there, that's like, like I'm business by day and then I'm arts by night.
Yes. It's a full
Uh,
360
it's
experience of being, right? And like your work blends into your passions. And it's just, this is what Africa gives to so many people, and you just don't get it anywhere else. So I've been here for a very
absolutely.
long time doing this work, and it just fills me with hope and inspiration every day, working with people like yourself and actually
Yeah,
being able to enable the development opportunities that are all around us and the investment opportunities as well. Jack, thank
so
you so
much.
much. Give us your final word before we wrap up.
Hey, listen, we got to scale up Africa, right? I would just say what I love about the title of this show and what I love about, what it means to scale. And it really is about bringing beautiful, bright minds together that are here for the common good, to make the world a better place. And I love collaborations like this
Mhm.
because if we are going to truly change the world, and really scale, these amazing opportunities. It is about, we talked about it earlier, exposure, access, and intentionality. So thank you for being so intentional in the work that you're doing. I'm so excited to keep this movement
Me
growing,
too.
and
Me
let's go
too.
scale up Africa together, girl. Let's go.
Yes, let's go. Thank you so much, Jack Campbell. Jack's got the tea. Thank you so much. We'll speak soon. Thank you so much.